Alright, so let's continue with Unit 11, each up, Lesson 2, Listening and Speaking. Right, here are the objectives of this lesson. By the end of the lesson, learners will be able to answer sentence completion questions, making notes, use technology and inventions-related vocabulary, compound nouns, idioms, use conditioners, unreal past inversion, talk about inventions and inventors, justify choices. Okay? Now let's start with part 1, listening. Alright, let's open your textbook on section B. Listen to a woman speaking about solar panels and decide whether the statements here are true or false. Okay, so here we have 5 statements. Number 1, the woman says they installed solar panels as they wanted to use a form of clean energy. Number 2, they were promised that they could have to pay less for electricity. Number 3, the company made a mistake with the number of panels they could install. Number 4, the woman hadn't taken into consideration repairs that would need to be done to the panels. Number 5, the woman's husband regrets not choosing more modern panels. Okay, so let's play the recording and listen by yourself, please. Okay, so it's time for you to check. Number 1 is false. Number 2 is true. Number 3 is false. Number 4 is true. And number 5 is true. Okay, now let's move to the next section C. Read the exam close up and underline the keywords in the exam task. Okay, you will hear a presentation about a new way to generate electricity. For questions from number 1 to number 8, complete the sentences. Alright, but before you hear, please read the exam close up in your textbook and underline the keywords in the exam task. Okay? So now let's start playing the recording about this presentation and start listening. Okay? While listening, please complete the sentences from number 1 to number 8. Okay? Okay, now let's check. Number 1, Mark has concentrated on revolutionary new floor tiles for his project. Number 2, kinetic energy can be collected from pedestrians' footsteps using these tiles. Number 3, at the mall, the tiles are bright green rubber. Number 4, the tiles will lower power bills and make use of a form of clean energy. Number 5, the tiles installed at a grammar school are still in excellent condition according to the head teacher. Number 6, thanks to the tiles, students at the school are more aware of what sustainable technology is. Number 7, Camera Cook says his tires are 200 times more efficient than other clean energy generating products. Number 8, a major issue still remains how to reduce the cost of producing the tires. So now let's move to part 3, exam practice. Right, for skill C, number 5. Okay, let's do skill C number 5, and then I will show you the answer, right? Okay, so it's time for you to check skill C for number 5. You can copy it, right? So number 1, A and D, number 2, A, number 3, D, number 4, we have elderly people, pass, lowers blood pressure, raises spirits, anybody, pass, lowers of heart disease, raises speed of recovery from heart attacks, lowers cases of colds, headache, fever. Okay. Now let's continue with skill C for exercise number 6 or practice 6. And here is the key. Number 1, C. Number 2, D. Number 3, A. Okay, number 4, the day of the trip, Friday. The weather forecast, clear. The location, mountains. The student who went before, man. Okay. Okay. Now let's start with part 1, listening. So let's move to skill C, exercise number 8. After you finish this exercise, you can copy, array the key here, and compare with your answers. Right, now let's move to the next for test preparation, listening and speaking. All right, so okay, part 2, question 5 to 8, please. And then we'll move to the next part 2, question 9 to 12. Okay. Yes. So here you can see the answer for a question from number 1 to number 5, right? Now let's move to part 3, questions from number 6 to number 10. Now let's start with part 1, listening. All right, so we have just practiced with listening, and now we move to the next part, speaking. All right, so for part one of the speaking, so in this part of the speaking, we will have our social interactions, and the time is between 3 minutes, right? And we have two topics. Okay, the first topic is let's talk about schools, and the examiner will ask the candidate three questions about this topic. All right. What were your favorite subjects or lessons at school, and why? What is an what is an ideal teacher like for you? What are some of the best memories of your school years? Okay, and the next topic, let's talk about jobs. Could you tell me? Okay, so what now? Could you tell me about the job you would like to have in the future? Would you like to be self-employed or an employee? Why? Have you ever had a summer job? If yes, could you tell me about it? If no, would you like to have one this summer? Why or why not? Okay, so for this part of speech, I would like you to find a partner, take turns to ask and answer the questions. But if you cannot find out the partner, so you just only read the question by yourself and then record your speaking. Okay, record your answers. After you finish, okay, answering all the questions, so you can play the recordings again, listen to what you have just spoken about, and then try to find out the mistakes related to vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, okay, fluency, coherence, or cohesion that you can make. All right, yeah, and try to avoid them for the next time. Okay. Right, it's time for you, please. Okay, so let's move to the next part two, solution discussions. Right? So in this part, you will have 1 minute to prepare, and after that, you can talk in up to 3 minutes. All right. There is a situation for you, and there are three options for you to choose. Okay, a sports center, a park with a lake, a children's playground. Okay, right. And the situations here may be the government is planning to invest money on building, okay, a public place, okay, in your country, right? Now, there are three options for you to choose: a sports center, a park with a lake, a children playground. So, which choice do you think is the best for your country, right? And explain why you choose that uh, place and why don't you choose other two options. Okay, so it's time for you, right? For this part, I would like you to do the same as the previous part. If you can find a partner, so role play, one is candidate and one is examiner. Okay, but if you cannot find out the partner, so you can role play both roles. Okay, you can speak and then record your voice and then play the recording again. Let's check, okay? Yeah, to find out any mistakes that you um, okay make. Right, it's time for you. Now let's move to part three, topic development. And in this part, you need to prepare to talk about one topic, okay, in 1 minute. And after 1 minute of preparation, okay, you will start talking up to 3 minutes. All right. So the topic is disadvantages of tourist developments. Okay. And here is the topics, and you can see there are three suggestions for you. Okay. To develop your topic, right? Ugly hotel complexes, destruction of natural habitat, destroyed traditional ways of life. Okay, you may develop your topics based on these suggestions, or you may ignore the suggestion here and develop this topic by your own ideas. It's up to you. All right? You now have a 1 minute to prepare, and after that, you can talk. Okay? So, after you speak about this topic, right, you need to answer the follow up questions. Okay, so there are 3 follow up questions here. Right, and the first question, why do you think people like to travel to different places in their free time? The second question, should your government invest more money in attracting tourists? The third question, how do you see tourism changing in your country in the future? Okay, so try to answer the 3 questions after you finish talking about this topic. All right, when you answer follow-up question, please try to give the longest answer as you can. Okay, not just only say yes or no, not just only say because and one sentence. Okay, so you need to improve your answer in at least 3 sentences. All right, and if you want to get higher mark, try to use compound complex sentences, not only simple sentences. All right, yeah, and use a wide range of vocabulary, a wide range of grammatical structures. Okay, yes. So now it's time for you, please. Okay, and I think that we will stop here for this lesson. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that you can receive or you can get all the objectives of this lesson after watching or after learning this lesson. Okay, goodbye for now, and see you in the next lesson.